It's Thursday here on Money Time at Money9, and what are all the news that we have for you today? From higher pensions to HDFC creating a payment revolution, we got you all covered. I am Ajay and let's begin today's bulletin. The Labour Ministry has asked the EPFO to come out with a procedure for those who want to opt for a higher pension under EPS. Now, according to a news report in The Hindu, the EPFO had given the benefit of revising the pension amount to those who had retired after September 1, 2014. There was a lot of confusion regarding the procedure for opting for higher pension under the EPS. The Supreme Court had also set the deadline of March 4, 2023, and the guidelines of the EPFO are expected to be released prior to the deadline. Else, the Supreme Court may extend the deadline. And from EPFO, we move on to another bank which has increased interest rates on fixed deposit. Which bank is that? It's none other than private lender DCB Bank, which has increased interest rates on fixed deposits. The private lender will give as high as 7.85% on FDs of 15 months to less than 18 months if you are a general citizen. Now, if you have an elderly person who is investing in this FD, then they will get 8.5% interest rate on this FD. Now, on one-year deposits, account holders will get 7.25% interest rate. And coming back to senior citizens, they will get an additional rate of 0.5% on this FD. Now, on the other hand, State Bank of India, which increased interest rates on fixed deposits yesterday, has now increased rates on recurring deposits as well. Now, depositors here will get an interest rate in the range of 6.5% to 7%. Up next, as I said in the beginning, a big revolution is in the offing when it comes to the payment system in the country. Now, if you have a bank account with HDFC Bank, then here is some good news waiting for you. Now, you can subscribe to the rupee credit card on the bank's app and use it for making payment for various purposes. And adding to that, you will also be able to link the rupee credit card to your UPI ID. Now, the money will not be debited from your savings account, and rather the transaction amount will be debited from the credit card balance. The RBI had earlier allowed the linking of rupee credit cards with the UPI IDs of customers. Now, what will this do? Well, this will provide better payment experiences to customers. And with this new feature, HDFC Bank becomes the first private sector lender to offer its customers the option to use rupee credit cards on UPI. And now from banking, we shift on to some corporate news. Now, if you hold the shares of Nestle India, then you need to watch this very closely. The board of Nestle India has recommended a dividend of 75 rupees for the calendar year 2022. Now, the record date for the payment of this dividend would be on April 21, 2023. Now, in India, exchanges have shifted to a T+1 settlement cycles, which means if you're a shareholder who holds Nestle, then you would be eligible for dividend at least one day prior to the record date. Now, the payment date has been set on or before 8th of May. And from corporates, we move on to something for mutual fund investors. The NFO of Axis Business Cycle Fund closed on Thursday, February 16, 2023. The scheme will be an open-ended equity scheme and it will be managed by Ashish Naik. The minimum investment in the NFO is 5,000 rupees. Chandresh Nigam, MD and CEO of Axis AMC, has said, and I quote, that India was in the nascent stages of expansion and the scheme will take advantage of the fact that India stands at the cusp of a new capex cycle as it stands between the expansion and the peak phase. The fund will invest across market caps and across industries, and the NFO had kicked off on February 2, 2023. And now we shift our focus back to the corporate world. Moody's, the rating agency, has said that the revenue growth rate of India's two major IT services companies, namely TCS and Infosys, will deplete in the next financial year. The revenue growth rate for FY24 will be lower than what it is in the current financial year. For the current financial year, the credit rating agency has pegged Infosys revenue growth rate at 13%, while it has pegged TCS growth rate at 8%. It has also affirmed the ratings of both of these two major IT behemoths. Moody's also retained a stable outlook for both of these companies. Now, both of these companies boast of a strong balance sheet and good corporate governance practices. And now from TCS and Infosys, we shift our focus to another IT major. I'm talking about Tech Mahindra. Domestic brokerage firm Axis Securities has given a buy call on Tech Mahindra with a target price of 1,210 rupees. It has suggested a stop loss of 1,000 rupees on the stock. Now the IT bellwether had closed higher at 5% on Thursday on the BSE. At 1,130 rupees, the stock was trading at its 2.5-month high. According to a Business Daily Mint report, the brokerage firm IDBI Capital said Tech Mahindra was the most attractive stock in its sector. Well, Sher Khan has given a long-term target of 1,400 rupees on the counter. And from IT, we shift our focus to new Gen Fintechs that are looking to acquire payment aggregators but are struggling. The Reserve Bank of India has returned applications of 57 entities submitted for acquiring license to operate as payment aggregators in India. The central bank has given a call to stakeholders to transact only with those aggregators which have secured license from the Apex Bank. Now only these have the authority to operate as payment aggregators in India. So far, there are 54 entities which are authorized by the Apex Bank to operate as payment aggregators. Some of these include big names like GPay, Amazon Pay, Zomato Payments et al. And new Gen Fintechs might continue to struggle to get a payment aggregator license, but banks like HDFC Bank and UCO Bank have opened special Vostro accounts to facilitate overseas trade in rupee. The Director General of Foreign Trade, Santosh Kumar Sarangi, said so far 20 banks have opened a special rupee Vostro account. All major banks have shared a list of nodal officers. Now this would sort out all issues faced by exporters. Now to facilitate traders to settle international trade in rupee, the Reserve Bank had earlier authorized some banks to open Vostro accounts. And the last news for today's Money Time is coming in from Air India, which is on an expansion spree. Almost 42% of the total planes ordered by the airline industry has been placed by Air India alone. Currently, the total number of planes on order stand at over 1,100. 2 days ago, Air India had placed one of the largest single aircraft orders in the world. The Tata Group airline had placed orders for a total of 470 planes. Indigo is second on this list of airlines with the highest number of orders. Aircraft maker Boeing has said that India is one of the fastest growing aircraft market in the world. The total fleet of the aviation sector is expected to double in the next 2 decades. Well, that's it for today here on Money Time at Money9. Download the Money9 app and stay tuned to Money9 English's YouTube channel. Until tomorrow, take care, and this is me, Ajay, signing off. Good night.